Hey everybody, I'm Dave Karger here at the Entertainment Weekly and People Video Studio at the 2022 Toronto International Film Festival, and I'm going to call it, I'm here with the 5 funniest people from the cast of Bros.
You said it, you heard it.
Basically, it's the entire LGBTQ museum board, except for Billy Eichner sitting with me right now. I have to say your scenes in the movie are some of my favorites. Obviously, they're everyone's favorites because they're all over the trailer for the movie too. What's the first thing that comes to your mind, TS, when you think back to filming those really great kind of boardroom scenes?
The first thing that comes to my mind is all the stuff that didn't make the cut. I mean, we did and said some things in that room that it could have a movie of its own. We are all different, but yet the same. And I am really honored to be, a part of this group of people because even though I've known Ms. Lawrence for a very long time, I got a chance to meet her character and also to see how close to the character that she is. Oh. And, Eve here and Dot and Jim, these are all professional people. Not to say you weren't professionals, because you're professional. But these were such professional people that made me quote unquote step my pussy up in my acting situation here. Like they put.
I haven't heard that phrase before.
Really?
No.
It was a great mantra going as we shot. That's all I remember.
It's been stolen from me time and time again, but that's neither here nor there.
Ms. Lawrence, what was it like? This kind of added pressure, if you will, of having the writer of the screenplay, the co-writer, I should say, Billy, in the scenes with you. Was he kind of like, you didn't say that quite right, how I wrote it?
No, it wasn't that it was that I was more so concerned about him trying to juggle both, trying to direct and be talent at the same time, which he did so very well. What I appreciated is that Billy trusted us. He trusted us and our knowledge about our history, and he allowed us to interject some of that in the scenes. And so I think when you put all that together, it was the best fusion of what we did in that room. Yeah.
And Eve, it's funny because division within the LGBTQ plus community is a real thing, but you guys make us laugh at it. Do you think that's a good way to kind of draw attention to it and hopefully change some hearts and minds even within our community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think taking the piss out of stuff is kind of the best way to deal with it. There's kind of nothing you can't laugh at. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Dot, who would you say of the group here is most like the character that they play, and who is the most different from?
Oh my God, I think all of them are a fraction. I mean, they always say you never play too far from who you are on some roles, but I think that it's so funny because I think we all had a splash of ourselves in that. Every one of us. And that was probably one of the funnest shoots I've ever had because it was like we spent a total of like a month in, shooting this out in New Jersey, and it's that familiarity of each one of us and getting to know the people, and then also too to see like their characters come to life because we had hung out, and did some rehearsals, and then we went and shoot, and or to shoot, and it was like I've known these people my whole life. Yeah. They're like, it's like that family, that chosen family, and it's talk about a community coming together, and like what you asked Eve, and it's like everybody was supportive of everybody. It wasn't a pissing contest. Yeah. Everybody was supportive of everybody, and like I said, I think we all played close to home.
Yeah.
I had such a different experience.
You were there?
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I want to point out. But it was true. We sat in a circle. Whenever you sit in a circle, you know you're in for a fun time because you will be there for the entire time shooting together as they move all the way around the circle. So been good 3 days together.
Yes.
After that, it was awful.
Yeah. What? Pretty much a wash.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure all of you have had experiences on a set of some sort where you're either the only LGBTQ plus person or one of two. And in this movie, it was so important to Billy and the filmmakers to have an all LGBTQ plus cast, except for Deborah Messing.
Yeah. Who the hell is Deborah Messing?
You know what? I know past projects that I've worked on, I have been either one or two queer people or LGBTQ people. So to walk onto the set and learn that not just the entire cast was of the LGBTQ community, but even the production, you know, from
Camera.
cameramen to our PAs to you name it, costumers, everybody was a part of telling the story, you know, and changing the narrative of what we can look like and be like in entertainment.
Here's a question for all of you. I want to start with Eve and go around. If there were to be an LGBTQ plus museum, like in the film, who's the one person that you would say has to be in it?
Has to be in it.
Yeah, like given a room or given a
In
tribute.
their own room. If only I could think of a person or two, somebody who had, you know, gotten crossed over into mainstream and, you know, perhaps was on like a hit album by like an artist that is influential and monumental.
Right. Think about it, and you can come back to
I'll
me.
think about it. Maybe we'll circle around.
How about the rest of the couch?
Oh, I could definitely see myself in there somewhere. I
we should just
could
definitely
definitely
put
see
ourselves in this, right?
see my sister right here, T.S. Madison, who is an icon in the trans space, in the LGBTQ space, period. I think all of us as a cast would be in this museum because we are literally in this moment breaking history.
Yes.
I love it.
All of us.
Creating history, yes.
Let's just take her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It would be the room dedicated to all of us.
I love it. See, I was thinking that question was going to be like a chance for you all to talk about your mentors and heroes, and it's yourselves. And I like that about you. That's good.
We're a bit narcissistic.
But let me say this, understand that we get to be who we are because of our heroes and the people who showed us we stand
The
on.
queerest thing in the world is narcissism.
Yeah, I don't get to be here if it hadn't been for a Sylvester, you know,
Yeah.
or Marsha P. Johnson,
Sylvia Rivera.
Sylvia Rivera. I mean, the list goes on. So I think that just goes without saying. Yes, though they come first. We will be on the newer wing,
Right.
you know, on the later
modern wing, yeah.
the modern wing, right?
Yeah.
But understand it had to be built from somewhere.
Yeah, definitely Laverne Cox, Angelica Ross, definitely the trans girls that were pioneering, especially trans girls of color. And I have to explain and say that it's important for me to say the trans girls of color because even under our umbrella, you know, there is a gap between, you know, black trans women and, you know, trans women of other races, you know, and we're the most marginalized because we experience the most murders and you know, the heaviest hits in our community. So it is important for me to call out the girls of color because they are most definitely important and they were definitely before me and I can walk in their shoes because they left their shoes there for me to walk in.
I love it. Back row, anyone to add?
I think as far as like who are mentors and who we look up to, for me, I am Sandra Bernhardt.
Yes.
Sandra's never been anybody but who she is. And I met her when I first moved to LA and was doing the first thing I ever did back in '91. And we've been friends for over 30 years. And just one thing about Sandra is she's very outspoken, but outspoken in a sense of just her authentic self. She and Amanda Bears, who's also in the film.
Yes.
Amanda's in the film. Amanda Bears, I hadn't seen her since like '94. I did a bunch of Married with Children back in the day, and just even back then for me, and I hadn't been acting for very long, and to meet her and just I could put her in my pocket, but she's like this little spitfire. And another one who is who she is, and I've tried to do that, and it's like just be myself, and you shouldn't have to be somebody you're not or who your true self is. And it's like piss on them, as my mama would have said. You know?
Yeah.
If, you know, so for me, definitely Amanda Bears and Sandra Bernhardt for sure.
Great. Jim?
Me.
Right there. That's my answer. Dot.
That's a good answer.
Thanks.
Jim, since we have you and this is an Entertainment Weekly interview, Dan Harmon has said there is a script for a community film that has been outlined and pitched. How much do you know about the plot line and what's going on?
You said as much as I do. You do know, and I'm sorry. It's true. But that news is great. Yeah, I mean, we have heard that we are seeing that finish line of the prophecy or whatever the hashtag is coming true. So, I mean, But yes, as far as like actual plot, nothing.
Okay, something to look forward to.
Yes, I'm sure we go back to the school.
Okay. You heard it here first. They go back to the school. It's great to see all of you. Have a wonderful premiere of Bros tonight. See Bros. It's hilarious.
See Bros.
Have a
See,
great
bros,
time.
honey. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Take all your hoes to see bros.
That's